flag!
If you stay, you'll be married off and become ruler of Father's kingdom. You'll have no time for yourself or with us, and you'll be constantly at war with the other realms for power. You'll most likely turn into the spitting image of Father.
What he's saying is, get your head out of your ass and let's go. If you don't say yes, I'll drag your princely ass with us. I don't care what that bastard of a father wants.
Okay. Why? I don't know.
Come on, Raistero.
All right, let's do this. What's the plan?
I couldn't believe what was happening. I was seeing the history of their lives before my eyes. They were nobles, and James was the heir to the kingdom. The commander ruled. Even more so, he was going to be married to Diana. They sacrificed everything to live and be together. They'd rather be free than remain in their noble roles. I started to feel a little bit jealous. They were able to leave while I was still expected to be what my father wanted me to be. Oh, now we're going to talk about ourselves? This is... How they were able to leave was uncertain still, but I knew I would learn in time. I closed my eyes and mentally asked Daimen to end the vision. As soon as I asked, the world around me slowly vanished. I was brought back to the bedroom where I sat with my head nestled in Damien's hands. My vision began to clear, letting me fully see the boys around me, all with concerned faces.
So, you now know exactly who we are.
Oh, do I. Not only do I, but all of your horns as well. Diana is the girl you were arranged to marry.
Not anymore. Once we left, the arrangement was broken. With no sons to marry off, her dad couldn't go through with the marriage deal.
If Diana is here for us, that means she's trying to save her kingdom from being attacked.
That's not true. She wants to rule our kingdom. Having one of us will give her the right to our kingdom as much as we'd have right over hers.
So she's a gold digger.
Basically.
Well, with a kingdom like ours, what succubus wouldn't want to marry us for it?
It all made sense. She wanted them so she could finally take over an opposing kingdom. She knew that despite her powers, she wouldn't be able to fight against her father, so she had to find another way in. Their father, not her father. That manipulative little... Before I could continue, I felt my head suddenly get heavy and dizzy. I gripped my head, mewling under my breath. What the...
I took too much. I'm so sorry.
Rest now. There's no need to do anything more today.
The boy suddenly rushed over and helped me lay back down as my vision was painted in white polka dots. I needed sleep badly. Instantly, I closed my eyes and let darkness consume me. After what seemed like hours, I finally woke up, slightly refreshed. My body knew that if I slept any longer, I'd be up all night, which was not part of the plan of the day. There was a whole bunch of other things, but hey. I rubbed my eyes and sat up, letting a soft groan escape my lips. In response, something beside my bed shuffled, causing me to look over. I didn't know what I was expecting. Hey, Pookie. Beside me, sitting in a chair beside the bed, was Daimen, rousing himself up to see me awake. I smiled at him, seeing his slightly ruffled hair and tired eyes.
Oh, you're awake. How do you feel?
Better. Daimen nodded before he looked down at the bed, taking my hands into his.
I'm sorry. This is all my fault.
It's not. It really isn't. I mean, it's not. Daimen, it's not your fault.
No, it is. I was the one who wanted to come to the human world. I convinced the others to come with. If I never did that, we'd never have put you in danger like this.
Are you really concerned about me at a time like this? Really? I mean, there's so much other shit you have to be concerned... Okay, we're rolling. I quickly reached over and put my finger on his lips, stopping him from going any further. I didn't want to hear anymore. Daimen, it's okay. I wanted to help you out. I offered to let you all stay. Nothing is your fault. I gently moved my hand and cupped Daimen's cheek, staring at him with concern. I didn't want him to hold guilt in his mind about this whole ordeal. Diana was desperate, and she'd hunt anyone for them. It wasn't his fault she was desperate enough to hunt them down. One thing bothered me, though. Why did his dad scorn him? Why did Daimen want to run away? The others seemed a little obvious, but Daimen was a mystery. However, before I could be vocally curious, Daimen gently held my head in his hands. Daimen? Daimen frowned and simply held me.
I'll show you everything.
I don't want to see. I mean, I've seen too much. I can guess. I'm a smart girl. I'll figure it out. Daimen let out a small laugh, a hint of depression lingering in the breath he let out, before he focused his energy onto my head. My vision blurred, and suddenly I was back in the demon castle. Again. Once more. Hey. Awkwardness. I expected to see Daimen wandering around the halls or with his brothers. However, I found him alone, sitting at the front of the throne, tearfully curled into a ball. The room smelt of blood, but my eyes couldn't look away from the tearful Daimen. Daimen. I knew he couldn't hear me, but I instinctively called out to him. He looked lonely. Where were his brothers?
Why are you crying?
Grandfather! Daimen picked his head up, suddenly, as I did. Grandfather?
Who are you? What do you want?
I just want to know if you're okay.
Grandpappy!
Who are you?
Don't be afraid. I'm just a friend.
Grandpappy.
Friend?
I stared completely in shock. When did... My grandfather knew him? Everything started going in fast forward. I saw Daimen talking to the voice of my grandfather, seeing his sad face go from happy to surprised to fascinated and cycle randomly. There were even moments when Matthew joined him, letting Daimen speak from the voice in the air. It was unbelievable. Here my grandfather spoke of the human world, painting it to be a beautiful world full of opportunity. How did my grandfather know about all this? What was going on? My mind slightly spun at the idea of my grandfather delved into magic and demons. Eventually, the world around me slowed down to see the boys standing before the empty throne. They looked determined, stout, and ready for something to happen. Daimen stepped forward and held his hand out to the throne.
O tenebris portas, aperiat nobis, laudiet horexitum, desiderium.
We could have gone through our lives without hearing that. My grandfather started to chant a phrase unfamiliar to me, letting it rupture into the air around the boys. Gusts of wind started to brush through the room like a storm rushing in. I watched, however, as a small tear opened in the air in front of the throne. It glowed an unholy purple color, peeking into a very familiar pink cafe. No way, that's... Quickly, Sam rushed over and dove his hands through the tear, pulling it open and making it larger to reveal the Pink Lady Cafe with my grandfather on the other side. My grandfather held out his hand, ushering the boys to come.
Hurry up, boys! I can't hold it open for long!
Instantly, the boys ran through the tear, climbing through, and almost crashing into the tables and chairs of the cafe. I felt myself move through as well, joining them as my grandfather closed the portal. What the fuck? I can't even anymore, okay? I can't even. The boys looked around the space, almost mystified by the sight. My grandfather laughed, out of breath, before sitting down at one of the nearby tables. I swear to God, if you killed my grandfather, I will be mad at you. I will be highly mad at all of you. Not mad enough to kill you, but quite disappointed.
There now. Welcome to the human world, boys. Let's see. Kay, make us some coffee, please. These boys need a drink.
I turned to see Kay, the owner of the cafe, and the only other person in the room besides the boys, smile and quickly get to working on making coffee. I was dumbfounded. She knew about them? Ugh. I felt myself get dizzy at the thought, but I shook my head out and tried to focus on what was going on. My grandfather looked at the boys up and down before chuckling again. The boys must have still been speechless.
You'll need a spell to cover yourselves up. Humans don't exactly have horns or parade around naked.
Without any genitals. Okay. The boys looked at each other before collectively nodding and focusing their energies. Yay! They're my boys. The horns. Before my eyes, they went from demons to human-looking demons. They looked to each other ecstatic at their new looks. My grandfather, however, cleared his throat and brought the attention back to him.
Now don't be rude to Kay now. Sit and enjoy some coffee. It's the best in town.
The boys obeyed, obviously in his debt. I looked at Daimen's face, and he was almost in tears with joy. I could tell that he was beyond happy to be in the human world. I almost felt like crying for him, but I couldn't understand why. Maybe it was his facial expressions, or maybe it was because I would meet him soon after this fact. Eventually, Daimen stopped the magic, lowering his hands and letting me come back to reality. I held on to Daimen, who kept a hold of me to make sure I didn't faint. Everything felt so wrong, and yet it all made sense at the same time. My grandfather knew magic. My grandfather helped the boys. He cast a spell on the mansion and on me to protect me.
I was the one who convinced everyone to come to the human world. I was also the one who asked that man, your grandfather, to bring us.
So he helped you come through. What happened after?
He gave us a wallet full of fake IDs and maps of the world. He told us to go anywhere we wanted and that he would pay for everything so we wouldn't have to use our magic. It was like he made us human.
Daimen laughed nostalgically. I could tell he was happy remembering how my grandfather had helped. I still couldn't wrap my head around it, but the answers I wanted were 6 feet under and unreachable now. You really wanted to become human. You really wanted... Okay. You really wanted to be human. Daimen looked at me, his eyes glimmering in both hope and shame.
More than anything, I still want to be human. I don't mean just in looks. Everything.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I cry every time. No. Daimen looked at his hands, lowering them to the bed between us.
Humans don't read minds. Humans don't hurt people like demons do. I didn't ask to be a demon. I want to learn things, go places, and not have to be bound by magic or anything.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Oh wait, I called this, didn't I? I was like, he wants to be loved for himself. This is technically what this means. I called it. I stared. It was pitiful to see him like this. He was almost like a child, begging me for something he really wanted. I wanted to help him somehow. I just didn't know how.
It's all right.
Daimen?
You've already done so much for me and my brothers. Sheltering us. Letting us continue to live here.
Daimen frowned, though, gently caressing my cheek with his hand.
I don't want you to get hurt because of us.
Daimen lowered his head in shame. I couldn't help but feel my heart squeeze within my chest at the sight. He truly cared. I can't do this anymore. Why? Why? Daimen let out a small sigh before looking at me with a new smile. He hid his sadness well, but I could tell he was still upset about the whole ordeal.
All right. You should sleep.
Daimen gently pressed me back down into the bed, resolved in what had happened. Oh, please. I'm doing it. I couldn't let him leave without doing something. I quickly pulled Daimen down to me, lifted my head, and gently kissed him, softly laying a hand on his cheek to keep his face close. Daimen stared in deep surprise before hesitantly kissing me back, caressing my cheek and slightly melting with the touch of our lips. A soft sigh escaped his lips before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red in the face at the simple gesture. He let out a satisfied sigh before nuzzling my forehead.
Go to sleep.
I'm really crying. Okay. And with that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself before relaxing into the mattress.
How
No.
pathetically sweet.
Would you just let me have a sweet moment? This game is yanking away all of my happiness. I can't. I'm done for tonight. No more. Not doing this anymore. Well, for tonight. Until I get curious and come back. Bye-bye.
He didn't show you everything, did he?
You gonna touch me? Because I don't want to be touched. I mean, I'd rather not know.